Today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp.com, and I've been with them for a long time. BetterHelp is an online platform where we found that you can effectively communicate with your therapist. Now, you begin by filling out a questionnaire, and then you'll be matched with a therapist within a couple of days. And if that match isn't ideal for you, you can certainly make an adjustment there. Now, you're going to be encouraged to journal, and also they have the availability for group therapy on a wide array of topics, and I really like that. So as the need exists, go ahead and take the necessary steps to get the help that you need. And just know that BetterHelp has a 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, so it indeed is a platform you can trust. There's a link below the video that will take you there. You know that narcissists by themselves can be very difficult and annoying. I mean, the characteristics they bring that are part of the narcissistic pattern are antithetical to healthy relationships. It's not going to go well when someone is over there acting with strong selfishness, manipulation, exploitation. They want to control you. They have little empathy for who you are and what you need. These are individuals who just bring havoc to a relationship, and they're next to impossible to deal with. Today, though, I want to talk about their enablers, the groupies, if you will, the hangers-on that hang around with the narcissist and say, yeah, me too. The narcissist thinks that way. I do too. These are the people that we would refer to as the flying monkeys. And you recall in the movie, the book, The Wizard of Oz, that the Wicked Witch of the West had these minions of flying monkeys that would do whatever her bidding were, and that's where we get the term. When we talk about flying monkeys, we're talking about blind loyalists to the chief narcissist. For example, these are individuals who will buy into the same illogic as the narcissist. For example, if the narcissist says this person over here deserves to be rejected and it doesn't seem to be warranted, the flying monkey can say, yeah, okay, I can go along with that. Or if the chief narcissist says we're going to do things in this way instead of that way, the flying monkey can say, whatever you say, boss, I'll do that. And so they have that blind loyalty there. The flying monkey is quite willing to gather data against a target. For example, they can come to the narcissist and say, you won't believe what this person said about you, or this individual's really not behaving very well. We need to do something about it. And they're also quite willing to pass along gossip relative to the same kind of topics. On top of that, they will openly enable or support a narcissist's mistreatment of others. You know, they had it coming anyway. They should have known that you're not supposed to tangle up with the boss over here. These people will make excuses on behalf of the narcissist. They will have a blindness to the pain that the narcissist generates in other individuals, and they're actually hardened to the impact that can come towards individuals who are not inside the club. Now, when we talk about these individuals as flying monkeys, we can say, well, maybe what this means is that they're trained people pleasers. They figured out that they need to appease other individuals and do whatever they have to do and live inside their subordinate role. And yes, there's that element. But the more you look into the reasoning and the mannerisms of these flying monkeys, it makes you realize if they're not already all the way into the full-blown narcissism, they're narcissists in the making. And they will mimic who they consider to be the master professor. I want to be the way that person is. And so I refer to these individuals as mini narcissists, M-I-N-I. They're mini narcissists. They'll let the big narcissist be what they are, and then it's like, I'm just going to go along for the ride. Now, there are multiple questions that I'd like to ask that flying monkey. First, can you not see how inappropriate that narcissist is? Do you not understand that what they do and how they treat people and their selfishness and their attitude of condescension is something that you don't really need to be latching on to? Of course, the answer is no, I don't see it, or I won't admit it if I see it. Or I might want to ask, well, do you have any compassion for individuals who are harmed by the narcissist? Doesn't it bother you when you see other people walking away with hurt and bitterness and crying and anger and frustration and rejection and loneliness? Doesn't that bother you? Or I'd like to ask, what are you so afraid of if you were to actually stand up to the narcissist and say, I don't think that that was a wise decision, or I don't want to go along with your improprieties over here? What are you afraid of? And then most telling that I would want to ask that person, or do you go along with the narcissist pathology because you yourself are highly selfish and controlling and condescending and manipulative? You just want to let that person be the one out there in public who's doing it the most, but you're thinking, yes, this is the way life ought to be because that's who you are in the first place. Now, there are multiple things going on inside the person of the flying monkey that helps us understand who they are and why they're so susceptible to playing the enabler's role to the narcissist. First, we're going to say these are individuals who, for a long time, like their whole life, they're driven by judgmental thinking. Who's good, who's bad, who's better, who's worse, who makes an A, who makes an F, and so how are you going to be judged? And they're constantly wondering, am I going to get a good grade today? That being the case, we can say that they're strongly indoctrinated in a hierarchical way of thinking. There's a system out there. There are generals and colonels and majors and captains, lieutenants, and then buck privates. I don't care where I am. I'm just going to service the general. And so they realize I need to know where I stand on the hierarchical structure. And if I can't be the general, I can't be the one that's at the top of the stack, then I'm going to service that person so I'll get their favor. Now, that being the case then, just like the primary narcissist, they drop any sense of empathy. They don't really care about how people feel. All they care about is staying in favor with the one who's in charge. Well, we tack onto that then, they also lack analytical thinking. It's like, well, if you just think about it just a little bit about who that person is and what they stand for and how they mistreat other individuals, let's just look at that and break it down. There's a whole lot about this narcissistic pattern that just doesn't make sense. And the flying monkey is like, let's not go there. I don't want to give myself a headache by thinking that way. So that being the case, we can say that these flying monkeys are codependent to the max. And by that, I mean they're invested in mutual dysfunction. If the narcissist is dysfunctional, I'll join them in that. If they have, if I'm willing to tend to their needs, then I'm hoping the narcissist will tend to my needs in reverse. That being the case, they have to have low self-esteem. They show a willingness to subjugate themselves to someone else, and it's like because they know that if they go rogue, then the narcissist is going to lay into them and say all sorts of bad things. It's like, no, I can't handle that. My ego is way too fragile. These individuals understand that pursuing freedom and independence means danger. It means they'll be rejected. It means they'll be punished. And so, just like the major narcissists, flying monkeys are willing to be very transactional. I'll give you what you want, you give me what I want. And then, of course, you can see that these individuals that with that lack of analytical thinking have an underdeveloped conscience. Now, it's important for you to know the flying monkey is using the narcissist in the sense that they can think, well, I'm not, they can hide behind the excuse. I'm not the one who's making bad judgments. He is or she is. And so they use the narcissist as a cover for their own inappropriateness and their own selfishness that they just don't want to have to admit or come to terms with. Now, all that said, it's virtually impossible to describe a flying monkey without concluding that they too are on the spectrum. And it's important for you to realize this because of one huge thing. And that is when you see the major narcissists and then you see the flying monkeys propping them up, you are witnessing the power of brainwashing. And when you're around those individuals, if you want to be accepted, you are going to be brought into the brainwashing too. It's so important for you to understand that. Or if you don't buy into their brainwashing, then you're going to be on the outside looking in. And we don't want that to happen now, do we? That's how they think. That's how they operate. Actually, when we talk about flying monkeys, there's another term that we often use in conjunction with that, and that's communal narcissism. And there's not just one major narcissist, but that person has a collective of people who go along and they say, we, the system, think this way. You need to be inside of our system. So if you're on the outside looking in, you see that you've got the primary narcissist and then these minions or whoever, how many number it is of these mini narcissists playing the blind loyalty card. There's certain things that you want to ponder. They're questions. First, are you willing to be deemed or labeled as the troublemaker or the messed up person or the outlier or the undesirable individuals? Are you willing to take on that label because that's what they're going to give you? Actually, you don't have to take it on, but just know that it's going to be thrown in your direction. Can you brace yourself for the onslaught of criticism that guaranteed is going to come your way? Will you embrace your own independence, knowing it will come with a price, and the price is you'll be rejected by them? Not that I'm dying to be in their club anyway. And then can you manage the predictability of the pleas can you manage the predictability when your pleas toward them are going to be met with mocking and ridiculing? Come on, why do you have to do it this way? And they'll just come back and tell you how stupid you are. Can you manage the anger that's going to show up when you say, I'm not the same as you? And then will you practice consistent self-care when it's obvious that you're not going to be in their club and somebody needs to tend to you, and that somebody's going to have to be you? Now, the flying monkey, with all of those kind of questions, will say, well, I'm willing to lay down my self-esteem. I'm willing to lay down my ethics in service to that narcissist. That's what I'll do. I'm hoping here on Team Healthy, you'll be the one that says, well, we stand for dignity, respect, and civility, and I don't want to let go of that in service for an unhealthy system. I'm going to go ahead and stand in my own decency, and if they want to play their little games with each other, I'm opting out. Now, I hope that videos like this can give you some good things to think about. The more you notice this and the more knowledgeable you are, then the more you're going to be able to grow. So if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please do so. We're going to keep more videos coming toward you so you can be an informed individual. You know that I've got my sponsor. At the beginning of the video, you saw that we're sponsored by BetterHelp.com. I've been sponsored by them for years. If the need is there, please get the assistance that you need for therapy. I'm a huge believer in that when you're going through something like this. Also, you'll know on my website, survivingnarcissism.tv, we have access to my courses, my webinars, my articles, my books, so plenty of resources there. Go into there, and we have links below the video here as well that will take you all of that. It's our way of saying we're trying to provide as many things as can so that you can be a well-educated kind of person. Okay. Isn't it crazy when you think it's bad enough to have to deal with a narcissist, and then when the narcissist collects these flying monkeys and then they do all of the I'm on that person's team kind of stuff toward you, you want to roll your eyes and say, seriously? But they think, yeah, seriously, I'm on that person's team. Okay, got it. I don't want to be on that team, and I hope you'll join me in that mindset as well. Because, like I say, here on Team Healthy, we do want to maintain the dignity of each individual, and you can't do it when you're playing along with the strongly narcissistic mindset. That being the case, I'm hoping you can dedicate yourself to your own growth and your own steadiness, and in the end, it can lead you closer and closer to your place of personal peace.